Let's take a closer look at the browser. Reason's browser is pretty simple to use and is designed with the rack in mind, allowing you to drag and drop just about anything, anywhere into the program. First of all, there are the device categories, instruments, effects, utilities, and players. And as already discussed, devices can be dragged from here directly into the rack or into the sequencer. Next is the factory sound bank area. Reason comes with several refills, a proprietary format for storing sounds and patches, including the Reason Sounds Showcase, sorted into common categories, an orchestral library, and factory sounds, which contains all of the presets for each instrument and effect in Reason. And as you can see, any preset or patch can also be dragged and dropped into the rack or into the sequencer, and Reason will also create the device for you. There's also the drum supply and loop supply refills that come with Reason 10. If you don't have these installed, you can go to Window, Manage Content, and then you'll see all of the optional content that comes with Reason 10, with an option to install all. Rack Extensions simply contains presets for any racks that you purchase in the Propellerhead shop. As you can see, I have quite a few here. You can also navigate your file system from here, allowing you to browse directly to any presets that you create and save. Now, Song Samples contains any sounds or samples that are recorded or bounced in Reason. You can find out more about sampling in the chapter on sampling, and how to bounce audio in the sequencer to samples in the chapter Working with Audio in the Sequencer. But to give you a quick example, let's drag in a sampler. I'll reset the device, and then use the sample button to record a note on my guitar. Now, as well as that sound being sampled into the instrument, it's also available in the Song Samples area. Which can then be dragged onto any device that supports sample importing, or into the sequencer. And of course, recent patches is pretty self-explanatory. Now, just below the showcase area is the favorites list. Now here you can click and drag any location from your file system, so in this case we'll just take the root of a drive, and add it to the favorites list. To remove locations, you can simply right-click and delete. So you can see here that I've already added links to all of my Reason patches, as well as some of my common sample locations. Samples can also be dragged and dropped directly from the browser into the sequencer, or alternatively into any instrument that supports sample loading. You'll also notice these entries with the star icon, and these are favorites lists. You can create a new favorites list by pressing on the plus symbol, and then you can drag any file, preset, or device into that favorites list, and then build your own collections of frequently used sounds. The browser can be given focus anywhere that you see the folder icon in Reason, and browser focus is discussed in more depth in the previous chapter on creating instruments. So let's pause again. You might want to put your sample folders into the favorites list, or just get familiar with dragging different types of files into your project. Let's take a moment, and I'll catch you in the next chapter.